Welcome in another edition of the Spare Time Bowling Show. See Sparky, Fifer with you, along with our guy, Dwight Albrecht from the Spare Time Pro Shop in New Berlin, as well as Phil Brylow. I catch him everywhere the PBA Tour is, and normally Phil is there doing videos for YouTube and everything else. What are some of your latest videos up on YouTube, Phil Brylow?
We did one with Neil Stremmel a couple months back, and it just hit last week, where it's a behind the scenes on the TV set, like everything that goes through. Like we go from where they sit and do the opening montage with Randy and whoever's doing commentary, all the way to behind the scenes out in the truck, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty fun. Yeah, we've done some stuff with Neil before. It's more on the technical end of thing. You're talking about bowling balls. This is kind of like for everybody, so that was pretty cool.
Okay, so we have that. You did it. You produced it.
Right.
Good quality.
Oh yeah,
good quality.
Oh yeah.
Why wouldn't you show some of that on the broadcast?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you see? This is where I get frustrated.
Me too.
You have this, which is gold. I think it's gold. You have this as gold. And now you can promote the PBA YouTube channel too.
Right.
Yep.
Hey, to see the rest of the video and all the other great behind the scenes videos that you've never seen before because you don't know it exists, please go check out the PBA YouTube channel. Show that. Instead of doing the 5 million questions 1 week, put that aside, unless it's sponsored, maybe it is sponsored, then fine. If it is, then take out another 5 minutes and just show, 2 to 3 minutes of the video. Maybe it's 2 minutes of the video, kind of what it is, and then watch the rest of the video, go there and feature like a different YouTube video every week that Phil does and sponsor it. All right, let's look at the PBA YouTube page brought to you by Miller.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Whatever.
On that one.
Yeah.
Just the cross promotion.
The no Bowl TV highlight again. Hey, here's your Bowl TV highlight.
Yes.
It's old Fox video. It's kind of funny.
Is that what it is?
Or
So most of
repeating Kimberly Pressler question, which was already aired once this year.
Yeah, I mean, most of the Bowl TV highlights on Fox is usually, if I'm there, it's stuff I've shot. So kind of thing. So it's just kind of funny because I have nothing to do with Bowl TV, but it's there for the Bowl TV highlight. Not to toot my own horn.
Whatever. It is what it is. All I'm concerned about is if you're doing all this extra stuff other than just the TV tournaments that you can watch there.
Yeah.
And there's all this extra footage. You do nothing to promote it during the broadcast. Yeah. Like that's where you kind of miss on this. Not only do you not do that, but you don't use social media to promote either. I followed the PBA on Twitter. I didn't see a link to that video ever get sent out saying, "Hey, check out this recent video that we have."
Facebook.
I didn't see it on Twitter.
I posted it. I posted links. I thought it was one of the best videos Neil and I have done so far. So I put it out on X and Facebook and stuff. Hey, check it out.
Kind of like to see the behind the scenes.
Hell yes, they do.
I mean, we did a couple of videos in Detroit that'll come out shortly at the World Series where Neil's talking to Bill O'Neill about the importance of interchangeable soles on bowling shoes and interchangeable heels. A lot of people don't know that are just up and coming. And it's some great info coming right from a pro.
Right. I think information is great.
And then we did another one with the new kid on the block with Joe Poe grips. Dwight knows Jerry, and we had Jerry, the owner, on there, and he's showing us how they work and all the different products he has.
We were the first in the city to carry them.
Yeah.
You guys were over there in Berlin, right?
Yep. I was pressured by a customer to do it, but I did do it.
Yeah.
You did do it.
He was on me for 2 months about carrying them, and I was pretty loyal to Turbo. Yeah. But I listened to him, and I talked to Jerry, and the rest is history. We were the first shop to carry him, and now it's our #1 interchangeable switch grip company.
So what's the difference between that and what you were carrying?
His design. He has a design that the insert will not come out. It will not break. And that's the big complaints with the other manufacturers.
If you think of a screw in a nut, it's just like a screw in a nut, where the other ones are just, you get tabs that lock in and part of the ball, where this is an actual kind of screw and nut.
And they were actually popping out of the ball, some of them?
The tabs would break. Vice inserts would break. Prather had a vice insert break on TV a couple of years ago, and they were in a casino, and they couldn't fix it. And Peterson talked about that. If the casino would have had a pro shop, Prather would have been able to use that ball. He couldn't, lost the match because he had to use another ball that he did not care for reaction wise. Yeah. So his design is by far the best out there.
Can I rewind a second?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they a traveling pro shop on the road? Aren't they drilling balls and everything else on the road?
When they come to town, they got the truck, of course.
Well, then how does a truck not fit with everything they could possibly want?
The truck just gives them 3 blank holes. There's a table with sanding tools and crazy glue for the pros to finish up their own balls.
Yeah.
Fine. That's fine. All I'm saying is, why wouldn't you come stocked with everything that these bowlers may or may not need during the course of a week? Why wouldn't everything just be there?
Well, here's a question I have for you. Is that truck already gone by the time let's say the weekend shows are already taping.
By the time TV is done?
No, but for like this weekend,
Going
I don't
the
think.
next stop?
Yeah, the truck wasn't there because the truck's at the PBA 50 stop in Florida. So I don't think there was a truck out in Angel of the Winds this weekend for the guys. So they had to pretty much bring what they brought or find a local place in Seattle.
You were in the PBA playoffs and you didn't have the truck?
I don't 100% quote me on that, but I've seen the trucks. I saw the trucks in the parking lot.
Tournament?
Yeah.
Over the PBA playoffs?
Or if they split them up. I mean, there's
somebody
a couple
needs
of trucks,
to explain this one to me because I don't understand. That doesn't make any damn sense. I mean, if you're saying the PBA playoffs is a big deal and you're promoting it as a big deal and you're going through all of this and then you don't give them the tools necessary at the PBA playoffs and you tell them, hey, sorry, the old guy's got the truck down there in Florida, I'd be hot. Like if I was a bowler, I'd be livid.
That's why so many of the guys drill their own balls. There's videos of Rash drilling his own balls in his basement.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying, from my perspective, I want there to everything they could possibly want. I want accessible to my bowlers when we're at a stop.
Yeah.
And I don't care if bags are collecting dust with inserts in them or whatever else, if nobody ever uses them, but you can't be in a situation like you just said about, oh yeah, that happened and there's no way to fix it. Sorry, you're out of luck. That never should happen. That should not be a deal. Like as soon as that happened, it should be like, okay, lesson learned. That will never happen again on this tour. We will always have everything these guys use. We will always have backups for everybody that will possibly need it. But again, the logistics and whatever else, I'm sure is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But with
you're professional
you're not
tour.
going to see that though. Right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
We've had them a little over a year and a half now, and we've had zero failure.
Which is good.
Which is wonderful.
And I'm assuming the PBA guys have probably switched
he's
as well.
Like crazy. He just posted something on social media that he now is in a warehouse because before he was actually putting everything together in the kitchen of his apartment with his wife. That's how small he was when he started.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna make a ton of money.
Now he's in a warehouse, right? Industrial park warehouse.
Yeah.
That they just opened.
That's great.
So he's growing like crazy.
Yeah. And he's got a couple of small Mikey Schleybaugh, who made the Cheetah Championship. He's one of the staffers. Zach Tackett is a staffer, EJ's brother.
Justin Knowles.
I'm not sure if Knowles is or not.
He was wearing
Knowles could be. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some smaller, some smaller guys, and there's as
Knowles is probably the finger grips
business
because he's a no thumber.
Yeah.
So he does have finger grips also. Yeah. So you could be using Joe Poe's finger grips.
Yeah.
But mainly he's known for the interchangeable thumb system.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Again, we always learn something here on the Spare Time Bowling Show, or at least I learned stuff from Phil and Dwight. I also learned that gutter balls are in fashion on the tour this year. I swear to you, Phil, I don't remember another year watching the tour where I see literally a gutter ball. I feel like damn near every other week on tour right now. And then multiple gutter balls went by in the same match.
Yeah. AJ Johnson match is the last one for me that I remembered multiple
gutter
balls. And that was at Brylow.
That was at Brylow on the cheetah pattern. But it's for everybody that says, oh, they're real easy out there. Yeah, you miss right. It keeps going right. I mean, we saw that in a couple of tournaments with the TOC. We saw a couple of gutter balls or ones that would just hang out there and get three. For everybody that says, oh, the scoring pace is too high, you have to make really good shots out there.
And they were two different patterns.
Right.
Yes. So it wasn't like you're throwing the same ball on both sides. You're throwing a different ball on each side. The thing that was amazing to me, he threw the first one and Kay was downstairs and she's like, really? And I was like, yeah, it's been going on this year, right? So then she goes walking up the stairs later in the match. I'm like, he just threw another one in the ninth. She's like, he's screwed. It's over. I said, yeah, pretty much. That'll do it. But what surprised me was Randy Peterson was on him hard. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you throwing it way out there when you don't have to? Yes. There's no reason to do this. What are you doing?
Right.
Like, normally Randy's pretty chilled and he's gonna explain to the
that's because
whatever.
He's next to John Fanta, so he's getting all worked up because of John Fanta.
Well, I don't know about that, but he hit Graham sitting next to him as well.
Yeah.
And so he's like going in on Vi, like, what are you like? There is no reason to be doing that a second time in a match. He pretty much, I think he said it was inexcusable, I believe is what he said on TV. You never hear Randy go at somebody like that.
Yep.
And clearly Randy was mad. My thing is this. He's got a ball rep.
Yep.
What? Why? After the first one, if you're the ball rep, don't you go, hey man, maybe we should move the line a little bit. Maybe we just adjust a little bit because we don't want this happening later. Do you have that conversation, or do you just go, no, Chris Vai's would pound me into, under the earth. So I'm just going to leave him alone and do what he wants because Vai's a big dude.
every other pro is throwing urethane in that lane, and he decided to go with resin.
Yeah, but that first ball that he shot, it went way out there. And I was like, it's toes. And I also went, whoop, left turn. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And Peterson pretty much said the same thing. Like, did you just see that? And started laughing. And I was like, okay, well, go ahead, I guess. But when he threw the first gutter, it was like, maybe you're flirting with danger playing out that far. Yep. And he got burned.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And if it's his best angle to carry is that angle, and he's watching everybody just plaque 10 the hell out of that Albie pattern, you go with what you go with. I mean, sure, you lose count. He did what? One on a gutter and one on a spare, so he's losing count. But if you're going strike 9 spare, strike 9 spare, strike 9 miss, it's just as bad. In my opinion, especially in a one-game match out there, and he didn't expect to make the same physical mistake twice. I mean, when you know you're using urethane, you know your carry percentage is going to be like 55, 60%. If you're using resin, it's going to be 90. You're going to stick with resin because you don't expect yourself to make two physical mistakes like that in one game.
After you make the first one, I don't know, man. Like in my brain, I was watching it and I wasn't him.
Yeah.
But you saw that even the first ball of the match he threw. And I think everybody watching went, uh-oh. And then it snapped back and you're like, okay, I guess he knows what he's doing. But then when he threw the gutter ball, then you're like, okay, he's clearly probably shouldn't be playing that far out. Yeah. Now, again, he would have to make the adjustment like you said.
Right.
Maybe switch a ball, whatever else. And he said, screw it. I know when I throw it right, I'm going to carry. Yeah. So I'm just going to continue to throw it this way. And he lost because of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
it was a shock and awe moment.
I mean, years ago at the World Series of Bowling on the Cheetah Pattern, I saw EJ Tackett throw it in the gutter 4 times in the first 12 frames. 4 times. And he still came back and made match. He still came back to make match play in that tournament.
To me, it's completely different when you're doing it not on TV versus on TV.
Well, and you have a lot more games to bring it back.
And you're playing for a lot. Right, correct. Right. And you're playing for a lot of money. Yeah. It's the playoffs, and you do it there. Now, having said that, let's talk about Fanta for a second, if you don't mind, before we get into the rest of this. I saw that he was doing it. I was about to tweet. I was like, that's mean. Don't do it. So I stopped. This has been 20 years ago. I would have just went absolutely crazy on Twitter, but I didn't. I stopped. And I watched. Now, first of all, not having Rob Stone. I don't know where Rob Stone is or what Rob Stone is doing. And clearly, he wasn't available to do this, and that's fine. I would have taken about anybody else. Like I've said before, put Phil on. So from this perspective, he talked less, maybe. Didn't seem as over the top to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. He was still trying to be funny and not landing stuff, and he wasn't being acknowledged. And that's going to be the case with him and Randy. I just give up trying to make that work from a chemistry standpoint. I just hope
stuff's funnier than I think some of that stuff's funnier than if Randy actually laughed.
I just shake my head and go, "This is horrible." There's just the chemistry is just not good at all.
I kept watching the show thinking, laugh button. Laugh.
Yes, a laugh track. Yes, that would work. If Ray's not going to laugh, we'll make somebody laugh for you because there's no studio audience to laugh at you, John. So we're going to act like you are funny and we're going to give you a laugh track. Yes, a laugh track. You're absolutely right. And so from this person, I just hope we learn. Like just learn from our mistake. This is a mistake.
It's painful.
And now next year, let's not make the same mistake twice.
To watch.
If they bring him back next year, I swear to God, Tom Clark is coming in here, and I want him to explain to me what is good about that broadcast. I want him to explain to me what is good. How do you think
the guy?
How do you think it's good that you're the guy next to him that laugh? I mean, think if you listen to a sports talk show and that was on the radio.
Yeah,
you'd be like, these two dudes don't like each other, or the chemistry just isn't there. Like they need to change him with that guy in a different show and move it around and so forth.
It's 2 completely different senses of humor.
The other thing about this is if I'm Randy, I'm going to have some ego about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And after this fiasco, it's going to be like, look, can we try out guys before you just stick them with me? Like, can me and him just pick a random TV tournament? I don't care what, it could be from 1985. Random TV tournament, and him and I will do the tournament. That's what they did for Monday Night Football. Back when they were replacing Al Michaels, they brought guys in and they tried them all out and they tried to figure it out, right?
Miller,
and you did fake broadcasts, and then you try to figure out who worked well with each other. Do that. If Randy's your guy, which clearly he is, and I'm good with it because I think he's good, then let him work with 3 or 4 guys that you like and let him tell you who he has the better chemistry with.
Here's the question for you two guys, isn't there a pre and post game meeting that they have?
Oh, production meeting?
Yeah, there's production meetings all the time.
Yeah, but you're not going to. What are you going to tell Randy? What are you going to tell Randy? Randy, I know you know Fanta's not funny, but I need you to fake laugh. You can't say that in front of Fanta. Now you could pull him aside and have that conversation.
Yeah,
but Randy ain't going to do that. He's going to laugh. Get out of here. I'm not fake.
Dude, you're not funny.
I'm not fake laughing. It is what it is. Like,
right.
But that's why I said.
Does he do this in his other sports commentary?
In basketball? Basketball, he can't talk as much because it's fast moving. So there's not that time necessarily because it's fast paced. With bowling, there's so much downtime and fill time. He's got to talk more.
Yeah.
Right. So if it's basketball, you're just saying what's in front of you. And then there's a little timeout. Well, then the analysts are talking. They're the ones filling. You don't have to be that guy. So now you're kind of really seeing who he is. Well, again, I give him credit. Like he's really, I'm sure he's over prepared and trying to be funny, has all this stuff and trying to be quick-witted. He's trying his best. Like I'm not mad at Fanta. He's trying his best. It's just not working.
It's painful.
So you just move forward. Randy's been here. He's not leaving. You are.
You're the new guy.
We'll find somebody else to bring in.
Yeah. Randy did correct him on a ball selection that one of the pros was using and right on TV and said, no, John, hold on a second. That's not correct.
Which is fine.
I know.
I mean, he does that to Rob Stone too, I think, from time to time when Stone does something wrong. Yeah. But that's what he's there for. He's the expert. He's the pro.
Yes.
Which is fine. And I'm down with it, like I said. But give him somebody that gets on. Yeah. Who's the other guy that does the play-by-play?
Dave Lamont.
Just let Lamont do it. Like, just done. Yeah. There's chemistry there. Yeah. Those two sound good together. Yeah. Leave it. Just Lamont's not trying overly hard. He's just doing it as it comes. Yeah. He's not trying to impress anybody or be funny. Right. He's just doing the broadcast. Let Lamont do all of them then if Stone's not going to be there.
Here's a question for Phil, and then maybe I don't know. I haven't seen him on TV for decades, but another guy that did a great job back then was Denny Schreiner. What happened to Denny Schreiner?
He's retired. He's also had vision issues.
Okay.
He's pretty close to legally blind. I saw him last time I saw Denny was when he got inducted in the Hall of Fame 2017. I mean, it's been a while.
Okay.
And
he did a great job though on the show.
Yeah, but he was also a PBA employee at the time too. So I mean, he had a vested benefit PBA being successful and everything with it too. So and he knew the players inside and out because he was PBA. It's kind of like back in the days when Mike Jakubowski was
PBA employee. He was doing
PBA employee, and he knew the guys, and love him or hate him. And there was some love-hate relationships between MJ and players and stuff like that. You never saw it on TV. MJ never let it get in the way or anything like that. But I always thought MJ was always really good on the call too. I was lucky enough to work with him in the Extra Frame days. And I've worked with Lamont and with
hours.
Yeah.
He was Jakubowski.
Right. And I've worked with Lamont on Extra Frame and played the color guy for him. And I've worked with Randy doing the play-by-play for him. And the issues I hear with Randy, I never heard that with working with me or anything like that. Randy likes to steer the ship a little bit. So you give him the chance to steer the ship, and Randy will steers it quite well. And I think sometimes you just feel maybe he doesn't feel like he's steering the ship.
Hold on a second. Anymore. Hold on. So I know we were going to talk about the PBA playoffs. Deal with it. This is the Spare Time Bowling Show. Nothing ever goes according to plan. So what if you just made him the play-by-play guy then? And what if you just brought another former bowler in to be the analyst and just had two bowlers? If we think Randy Peterson can do play-by-play, and if
I've seen Randy do play-by-play,
know he can do it because you've seen him do it,
right?
Just move him over and bring somebody else in. Put Pete Weber next to him. There's Peterson. Let Pete Weber go next to him.
Yeah.
Have the dump punt ready and go and see what happes. Hey, you have to be.
Dump punt.
I'm just saying, you just have to be ready, just in case. I don't worry about Randy. Pete Weber may let one slip occasionally.
Right.
So try that. Like this offseason. Yeah. Like put them together. They stream all these things, right? On Bowl TV or what?
I guarantee you.
Well, whatever. Anyway, just pay him.
Right.
And so you pay him whatever you have to pay him to deal with it.
Okay.
And just be like, we want you and Pete to do it. First, you have to see if Pete's willing to do it. I think he would be. If he goes, yeah, okay, I'll try it. Let those two just do a Bowl TV streaming for a regional or something. Put them together and let them work together and be like, okay, after like an hour, come back and be like, all right, y'all, what do you think? Yeah, that was fun. I'll do this. Okay.
Trust me,
we're gonna do it this way because then it's not having to worry about Fox coming up with guys to give you in that booth.
Yeah.
They don't have to give you Rob. They don't have to give you anybody. So now it's Randy and Pete and go. And I'm telling you, people would tune in just to hear Pete Weber.
Oh, absolutely.
Just to hear Pete. Guaranteed. You put him in the booth, put his sunglasses on, and let him do the show. I swear to God.
Yeah.
The job, though, is that
if Randy can do it, that's what they should do.
It's the Intel guy. That's their job. And right away, what comes to my mind would be Chris Barnes. He's so incredibly intelligent. And then another one that impresses me more that I listen to him talk, and he's doing a lot more YouTube videos, is Jason Belmonte. And they made a comment about Belmo basically telling every one of his players during the PBA Elite League on how he's instructing them on every shot or what they have to do, the whole type of deal, except for Tomas Keiko. I know they don't like each other, the whole type of deal, or Belmo doesn't care for him. But you could see
why would
Belmo,
you have drafted him?
Yeah, but you right.
That was a mistake.
But you could see Belmo taking charge though, and his intel and his ideas.
The problem is this, Dwight.
Yeah,
he can't do it because he's going to be on TV, and then you're going to be scrambling to find somebody. Correct. So it's got to be somebody that's not on tour, that's retired or done.
Correct.
Because you can't have Barnes either. Barnes is on PBA 50 right now.
Yeah, he's bowling good.
And he just bowled well yesterday. Yeah. Him and Gomez. Yeah. And so from my perspective, it's got to be somebody that's retired and done. Yeah, now,
I see that,
Walter Ray, and nice. I don't mind him. I don't know what his personality would be like on TV. I question where that would be. Yeah. I like Nika, but I don't know if he'd want to do it one way or the other, right? Yeah. So for me, it's P. I don't.
Yeah.
But again,
it makes sense just because of the whole thing with the
and I think Randy and Pete are good. So, providing they're good and there's a relationship there that's not sour and they're all good with one another.
Yeah.
I feel like their personalities would be really good together with stuff Pete would say that would be improper and so forth, and will probably make some people blush watching. Yeah. But that's okay. You would have people talking about it.
Well, that's the one thing with TV. They don't get overly technical with it. Or, Pete, and you can't. That's exactly it. So that's kind of in Pete's wheelhouse, because a lot of times Pete was one of the guys that could go back and, he, don't get me wrong, he knows a ton on the game, but, he'd go back and ask the ball rep, checking ball motion and that kind of stuff. But yeah, Pete knows enough where he keep it simple and he wouldn't try to overanalyze it for the fans.
The other
some
part
of these guys might try to do that.
But the other part is the mental part. Like, you'd be able to hear Pete go, if that dude just did that and I was bowling against him, I'd be fired up. Like, that would be, it would be on if you ever pulled that crap with me while I was bowling against you on TV. He'd give you the mental side of things of, he might let you in on how he relaxed in big moments and what he kind of used to get to that point. That part they never talk about, ever. I've never heard Randy ever go in depth on big moments, what he did differently, other bowlers that he bowled with, what they did, and so forth. Like, for instance, Troop was reading a book at one point, right? Earlier in the year. Yeah. God, just not doing it anymore. Yep. Now he's got a fan or whatever, and he's not reading a book or doing anything. Yep. So that obviously was gone from the beginning. He throws that first ball, Troop throws that first ball, and you could see on his face, I'm like, this may not be a good day. Yeah. I don't feel like he's in a good place right now. And he came back and won it. And he was overly dramatic too. Yeah. Holding his mouth to his two fingers, going along the crowd and all that, which is great entertainment. It's great for TV. But you could tell he emotionally was completely invested, whatever the reason, in that thing. Now, he's won this thing a couple of times. Oh. So there's obviously that goes along with it. Yeah. But the mental side of it, like they brought up the guy that we had on, what's the guy's name? Dr. Dean Remitz. Hinnitz, whatever his name is. They brought him up for one of the bowlers. I forgot which one it was, that went and worked with him in the offseason in the summertime.
We had him on a radio show.
Yeah. Oh, it was, whatchamacallit? It was, where is it? The guy that won the second round, or the first round that advanced all the way through.
Smallwood.
No, not Smallwood. The guy that faced Smallwood.
Andrew Anderson.
Andrew Anderson. That's who it was that worked with him the previous offseason. And that's, I don't know, man, like the mental side of sports is a huge deal. And it's individual sports makes it even bigger.
Well, and one thing about this tournament is that you look at every other TV finals that they've had this year, and these guys have battled for 30, 40, 50, 60 games to get on TV show. This week it's, hey, you're here.
And you bowl.
Time to bowl. You got your practice session, your pro-am, and you got one game now. Have fun. Go for it. It's a totally different spin on what they've had all year long. So do you make the adjustments? Like a couple of years in the PBA, at the same place, PBA Tour Finals. Kyle Troop had his fiance's daughter's little stuffed animal.
I remember that. Yep.
No mention of that again. Same place. No mention of that. But
or whatever it was.
Yeah. But one thing you think they'd mention a little bit too is that the guys that have had previous success in the center, they talked about with Belmonte because he had 2 of his 300 games on TV in that center. And Belmo said Saturday night, yeah, well, it's not going to be the same this year because we used to use 10 and 11, and now we're using 11 and 12.
Yep.
So now I got, what's the right lane going to do for me, kind of thing. So, so you got a little insight with that. But it's it's interesting where the mental outlook's just different for these guys because all of a sudden it's just here you are. You've got one game, and the format I think is the best format they've done for the playoffs so far. You definitely have an advantage finishing the top 4 in points, obviously, because you basically got a 2-round bye. We're not going to see EJ and O'Neal, those guys, till next week. So I like the format. I love the format they changed it to this year for the playoffs. But it's interesting for the guys to get adjusted to. What's EJ doing? What's Brylow O'Neal doing? Sitting on the sideline for 2 shows. What do you do? Read a book, watch what's going on. What are these guys doing? I would have. Maybe next week we'll see it.
So this is how it went. Since we probably should talk about it at some point. Crow over Wilkins, 246 to 233. I like Dave Crow.
Yeah,
I do.
I had a quick question though, for Phil, maybe. They never talk about how he gets his nickname though, the Boog.
I've never asked him either.
It was from a nickname. They said briefly that his parents gave it to him as a baby or something. Yeah. But probably Boogers.
Yeah, probably.
My daughter was asking. I said, I have no idea. I
Boogers.
said the same thing, probably Boogers. Right?
Yeah, that would be my guess. Boog. Right.
So his dad was a Revenge. His dad was a Revenge of the Nerds fan back in the day.
Is that? Yeah.
There you go.
That would also make sense, Bill. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. You like Kroll too?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I like him a lot. So 246, 233. Smallwood gets on TV and then gets sent home by Belmonte, 218 to 207. It wasn't like Smallwood bowled horribly necessarily one way or the other. And it wasn't like Belmonte was outstanding necessarily.
No.
Well, look at Smallwood's game Saturday night. Right, I mean, he almost shoots 300, but a couple of shots. I mean, what do you get? Crossover to face shot?
That last ball.
Yeah. I mean, so it wasn't a Gracie games. It still got him by. It still got him by Anderson, no doubt. But it didn't look overly comfortable. Didn't have the same comfort level Sunday morning that he did on Saturday.
Well, that first ball, he double bounced the first ball.
Yeah.
He double bounced the last ball the night before.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he comes back the next day, double bounces that first one on that first shot.
He clearly was not as sharp as he was the night before.
Yeah.
He was making great shots the night before, and he was not making great shots.
See, and that's an issue from the aspect of, you bowl so well, now you sleep, you come in. Who knows? Now, if he was able to bowl that second round right away, and keep going,
right?
Then I think it's a completely different outlook.
It is.
Like if they did the playoff taping in one day, morning to night, here we go, and there's maybe an hour break in between, and you're just bowling all day, then you see a guy possibly make a run from way outside all the way through the championship and catch that momentum.
Yeah.
My comment for Phil was they said it twice on the shows that 20 pros are waiting just to mob him after he shoots 300. Is he still that liked out on the tour?
Yeah. Yeah, anybody's gonna get. I mean, if you shoot 300 on TV, everybody's gonna give you. Congratulations. I don't see anybody just turning their back and walking away.
He's a pretty laid back dude.
Yeah.
He's a pretty chill dude.
Also, Sportsman of the Year 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
He's a chill dude. I mean, I haven't talked to that dude in a long time, but when I was out covering the tour back in the day, doing World Series of Bowling out in Vegas, he was one of the most chilled like guys on tour.
When his son Brady's out there with him sometimes playing ball rep and stuff when they get the chance to get him out there and stuff. It's pretty cool to see.
I find that interesting after Kimberly Presser to talk to him. Randy had to do double duty and go and talk to the pros out on the lanes, but he made a comment obviously about Jason Belmonte, who never heard of him.
Yeah.
Type of deal. I'm just be careful what you wish for.
That was funny. It was a joke. He was messing around. It was fine. Jesper Svensson, Matt Russo. Russo had a chance in the 10th.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he threw a decent ball. It was a little light, I guess.
Yeah,
that ball in the 10th. And Svensson had the fan like against his face. It was just like, whew. Survive and advance, baby. Survive and advance. Both of them bowled well. 249, 246.
Yeah. Right. But I just kept thinking watching Jesper during that match, what a difference a house makes. Here he's in Detroit, shoots 183, hits the pocket every time. What a difference a center makes, all of a sudden that 78 IQ looked really good in his hands where it didn't look so good in Detroit. And we were talking, maybe it's time for him to go heavier and weight, but obviously, I mean, he could have shot 300 that match if he gets a couple of the 9 counts to go, but
he was locked in early in that
now
match.
What's Jesper being the only lefty left in the field, what kind of damage can he do? Nobody on his side of the lane for all these matches.
Yeah.
It's beautiful thing.
If I was a betting man, I'd take Jesper taking down these tour finals.
Exactly, because in that house, it's so different than Detroit, but you're 100% correct. Now all of a sudden his ball is coming around the corner and it's carrying.
Yeah,
where it did not
happen.
And
that's on both patterns. I mean, watching Jesper in the main bay in Detroit was an entirely different animal.
That's what you said.
Because he was just throwing the pins around like balsa wood out there and getting messengers to carry and all that other stuff. It's just
the typical Jesper
20-year newer lane surface inside the arena, and the ball doesn't have as much friction to pick up from the lane surface. And sometimes that 6 inches of length before it turns, it's enough to flat 7 and blower 10 and all the other stuff.
Watch out for him.
Yeah, if I could throw a bet on the PBA, I'd cross the border down to Illinois and go, give me Jesper the rest of the way.
Yep. I'd agree with Phil on that one.
That match gets done. He wins. Russo goes home, and Russo had a great year. Nicely done.
Yeah,
he had a great year. I thought they had mentioned during the fact before the year that he was debating whether or not he still wanted to do this kind of going forward. And clearly he's going to do this going forward, considering on how well he bowled this year.
Him and his wife want to start a family. His wife Lauren's a college NCAA college women's coach and
a Pro Bowler too.
And a Pro Bowler. She's going to be in Rockford this next week with the PWBA tour down in Rockford at Cherry Bowl. So it's a matter of what they want to do. If the family is going to be the number one priority, I think you'll see Matt kind of lighten the tour schedule.
No, it's got to wait another year. No. It's the best year he's had on tour.
Yeah.
You can't now go decide. Wait another year. How old is she? She's not that old.
They're both in. I don't even think they're both 30 yet.
Yeah, plenty of time.
That time.
So you can wait. Let's just see if he can do this again. Because if he can do it again, we're waiting again. We're not talking about this until he comes back down to where he was prior. But you can't interrupt this.
And remember,
because he's locked in right now.
And the big story was with him this year is that he took his thumb out of the ball. He was using his thumb, and
he said it was night and day difference, life-changing experience. He said for him, which doesn't help you people wanting to teach everybody to bowl with one hand.
Times have changed, Sparky.
Dude, it's nuts,
you're going to go through that with Jackson.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to go through that with Jackson. He did. So for those of you that don't know, he's 8, and we got him a new ball. It's 10 pounds, so it's obviously heavier, and he's having issues coming out of the ball correctly. And Dwight experienced his meltdown at his bowling center, and I was hot. He heard about it from me after that. So the next time we went bowling after Dwight had drilled the ball and stuff, he was all mad again. And I was done talking to him. I was like, do what you want to do. I don't really care. I'm just going to watch the Brewer game. So he was getting mad. He was trying to talk to me. I was ignoring him. So finally, after about 20 minutes, I was like, okay, you going to listen now? I'm trying to do what you're saying. No, it's just not working. So then I was like, maybe I'll get him a wrist guard. That'll straighten out his wrists. Maybe that'll help because he's so small. That'll help. Yeah. Well, there is no pro shop at Oak Creek Classic Lane, so they don't have wrist guards or anything for sale, which I also think is a miss. Even if you aren't a pro shop, I think you should still have stuff available behind the counter to sell if people need a rosin bag or whatever, even if it's like 2 or 3 things.
They make vending machines.
I've seen bowling centers with the vending machines.
Maybe they have a vending machine and I didn't see it. Yeah. Maybe they do. I don't know. Yeah. I would never even thought about a vending machine. So maybe they do have one there. So anyways, I was like, all right, I'm done. And he's like, what? So I took the ball, I put it in his hand, put 2 fingers in the ball. He's like, Kyle Troop? I was like, yeah, Kyle Troop. Let's see what happens. So he got a big smile on his face. I was like, just don't drop the ball on your foot, right? Because it was a heavier ball for him to begin with. Now he's only so he had never, ever even attempted it. So he threw it, and he throws it across the lane. The ball gets about, I don't know, halfway down because he can't throw it as hard. Right. And the ball just goes directly left. He looks at me, starts laughing. He's like, Dad, did you see that? Did you see that? So then he's like, oh, I want to keep going. So then he kept going. So then I texted Dwight, and I was like, he can't throw it hard enough to control it. Right. Like, it's just, it can't be a thing. So after he threw like 5 or 6, Phil, I was like, okay, now we're going to go back to throwing it the regular way and see if you come out of the ball right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He'd do it once or twice and then back to the same way again. I'm like, all right, back to 2-handed. Here we go again. And that's what he was having fun doing anyhow at that point.
Right.
So I don't know if we're going to go 2-handed or 1-handed.
A lesson with Mark Baker, Coach Baker, which we
sure, we'll just fly out to California, Dwight. No problem. Okay, last match: Kyle Troop and Chris Vi, Mr. Gutterball, 236 to 194. Troop over Vi. Again, we talked about this earlier. I feel bad for Vi throwing 2 gutter balls, but at the same point, I'm kind of with Brady Peterson, which is, dude, you should have put yourself in that. After the first time, either you change balls and go to someone with less hook, you move. you completely go away from resin, you go to urethane, whatever. But you probably don't do that. So that's that. So now here are the quarterfinal matchups that are coming up. Taggart versus Kroll. Who we like?
I got to go with DJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Experience.
Bill O'Neill versus Jason Belmonte. I love this matchup. Obviously, these two are boys.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Bill O'Neill.
I'm going to go with Belmo.
I got to go with Bill.
You're going to go Bill O'Neill.
I got to go with Bill.
And I love Belmo, but I'm taking Bill O'Neill.
Yeah.
Marshall Kent versus Jesper Svensson. Marshall Kent, similar to Matt Russo, having a great year. What say you?
I'm going to go with Phil and I talked about. We're going to go with Svensson being the only lefty.
Agreed. Yeah. I think Kent's run ends. He's a 2C too. Yeah. Anthony Simonson against Kyle Troop. Love it. The main event on TV.
Right.
I'm hoping this is the last match on TV. Yeah. I'm hoping they don't blow this with the first match. I hope they go in order.
Yeah.
Like because the way they put the bracket on TV was the way they went in order on TV as far as showing matches. Yeah. So hopefully Simonson and Troop is the last match on the quarterfinals next Sunday. I'm hoping. So those are your quarterfinal matchups, and we'll be right back here again next week. We'll talk about it all over again.
Yeah.
Before
we go, though,
yes,
I just want to get your opinion on this. I think the PBA needs to look at the guy in the stands as the new marketing guy for Kyle Troop, and the sign that he posted saying the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yes, that was very good. Yes, that was very good.
That was a good one.
Like you can't handle the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How many more now cities are they going to go to where that same sign comes up?
Well, hopefully it picks up popularity.
Right.
Yeah. Right. That would be good. No, that was a very good one. All right. That'll do it for the Spare Time Bowling Show. See Sparky Fifer. Follow me at Sparky Radio. Check out my afternoon show from 2 to 5 weekday afternoons on 1250 called the Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, Bucks, Brewers, Packers, Badgers, Marquette, Panthers, Admirals, you name it. We talk about it. Got a NASCAR truck driver on coming up actually this afternoon, Tuesday, as the truck series is coming to the Milwaukee Mile.
Yep.
So we'll have him on coming up this afternoon. Dwight Albrecht, follow him on Twitter at Dewey300. Go get your ball drilled by him and any other needs you may have over at the Spare Time Pro Shop in New Berlin at New Berlin Bowl. And of course, he is Phil Brylow, Brew City Bowling on Twitter. And the behind the scenes YouTube video that you definitely should go check out about how the whole TV broadcast is put together and made and all that stuff over there on the PBA YouTube page. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. Toodles.